Nigga kill over a bitch, but let a rat keep his wife.
Shit, it's record. Time to go to work. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm just trying to be the eyes you can help. You. Why wouldn't you want to help me? Terrence Gangsta Williams and Charleston White. This time, Terrence Gangsta Williams behind the camera. He come with a good interview.
I think there should be harsher laws and harsher punishment for child predators. They normally get probation. Yeah, they normally get probation. They normally, you've never heard about a child predator getting 40 years like the Doughboy.
You were doing the, you were catching the predator. Was that with Aiden Ross or?
Yeah, Aiden Ross and Vitality.
Yeah, and of course,
And the police never arrested not one of them. Yeah. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got arrested.
Yeah, did you know, even you approaching the situation, did you know how you was gonna react upon seeing what?
Well, I thought this was, I'm thinking this ain't real. Cause you see it online, man. This shit ain't real. I ain't know how to approach this shit, homie, because they said what we can't do. So I brought all my mace, my tasers. Yeah, I wanted to shoot that bar spray on their ass and put that mace, nigga, I wanted to see, and they said, man, we can't do this because it'll hurt the case. So they document everything and end up sending it to the prosecutors and the police officers, and then on the back end, they pursue these guys. But nobody was arrested on the spot.
Well, there's a story about a guy named Jarvis Butts who was with a 12-year-old. It's like a big story. And she came up missing.
I heard about that.
Yeah, last year.
He's a family member, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a family member. Uncle, niece.
One of them perverted uncles.
When you hear stories like that, a 41-year-old, and they read the text messages in court to where, I know a lot of people probably don't remember, but back in the 90s, around 13, 14, that's when people were trying to be promiscuous. But to hear about a 41-year-old uncle messing with a 12-year-old now she's missing, how many stories do you feel like this go on that we don't hear about?
A lot. So, man, when I was in the Texas Youth Commission, we used to have to go to therapy, to group. So it'll be 16 of us in a group, and we would have to do. So we did psychodrama therapy. We would have to do a life story, an offense cycle, and then a recidivism, right? So our life story, we'd have to fill out these sheets of paper, and you go back to your earliest memory, and it would ask you questions from your earliest memory on all the way up until you committed your crime. So they got your CPS files, they got your whole life on file. So most people had to be truthful. Man, I used to sit in them group sessions, homie, and hear do their life stories, and hear about them getting molested by their uncle. And here get molested by their uncles. So one in particular, man, one of my Mexican partners from Dallas, him and his sister both will be molested by the uncle. I done heard that a lot of times, homie. And then when I grew up and started working with kids, going into the boys' home, I started finding out a lot of not just girls, a lot of guys been molested.
A lot of the violence come from. You start hearing about when they get on death row and it's time for them to get the death penalty, and when they start trying to use mitigating factors, so you start realizing, homie, this is almost common. Yeah, this is almost common, homie, in our society. It's just unspoken of. So a lot of, when I was in the 8th grade, it was a whole bunch of 7th and 8th grade girls had high school, college boyfriends, nigga, coming picking them up in the jamming mini trucks. You know what I'm saying, nigga? That was typical. Yeah, man. It's so I speak a lot about that, homie. So this one thing I know, depending on who your mother and father is, it won't ever happen. A lot of women who've been molested attract molesters. A lot of women who done been by men attract those kind of men. Them look for the kind of household who might got a weak daddy. Who most promiscuous young girls, they look for the perverted man. So say if a little mannish little girl was walking by me and I see the little spirit on her, I won't even look at her. They looking for the man that's go glance at them, look him in the eye, look him up and down. Man, I ignore a little girl like that because I know what she's looking for. She's looking to be violated. It's the spirit inside of her because at some point she's already been introduced to this, whether it was a cousin hunching on her, them older hunching cousins. So typically it starts in the family. like this situation. Typically, it starts in the family.
Do you feel if there was harsher punishment, there might be a reduction in cases of this?
If you got the death penalty, they start getting a death penalty, homie. And you don't wait 10, 15 years to die. You die at the end of the month. If they start castrating, y'all might have to cut this. Yeah, let me cut these.
Now, the case that came up, the Jarvis guy they mentioned briefly, was something that happened in Detroit. It was the girl Naziah auntie boyfriend. He known for doing stuff like this. Me personally, I think this should have been handled in the streets. But justice gonna get served. Broomsticks for life. He not gonna make it out of that situation. But to the uncles and the cousins that like to violate, run into the wrong person and you gonna get your issue. The wrong person kid, like Charleston White said, as parents, it started with us. We gotta do better and watch who we leave our kids with. Have your kids around. A lot of these kids be exposed to this way before they even supposed to be exposed to it. And a lot of people be protecting family members, trying to keep the family together, knowing that uncle been on that type of time. The aunties and cousins, older cousins already been hearing this for years, knowing what's going on, and they sweep it under the rug. Like that girl, Naziah, her auntie knew what was going on. She definitely knew what was going on. And I wonder what's going to happen to her. She just wanted love so bad that she'll deal with that type of man. But 9 times out of 10, in her lifetime, she didn't, same thing that happened to her. And that's that right there. I had my time where I was standing in the courtroom, right? And I had my little thing going on, and my bond was way more than a guy who was just fondling with kids. Let me tell you that. And it was a white man. And I was sitting there like I just couldn't believe it. When I got out, I told my people that. They like, yeah, they don't take that serious. So, in this interview, Charleston White actually say, like, they give you more time for drugs than they give you for messing over kids, being a predator. And that's where the world got me up. But y'all leave a comment. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll be back with another.